Hello, my fellow fashion lovers. It's a true pleasure to have you back. Get comfortable. Today we are diving deep, a total immersion into Julie de Libran's Autumn-Winter 2026-2027 collection, right in the heart of Paris Fashion Week. And let me tell you, she is once again delivering a show that will leave no one indifferent. Bringing Haute Couture into a Pilates studio? It's an incredibly intimate alternative. We are leaving the grand, gilded salons behind. Instead, she anchors exceptional garments into raw physicality and everyday life. It's a shift that feels like a fully assumed creative gamble, and honestly, perfectly relevant for our time. Here we are, transported to the Latin Quarter, settled into the Rituel Pilates studio. The lighting is soft, warm. In the background, no classic violins. Instead, the rhythmic breathing prompts of Verena Tremel echo through the space. Can you picture the contrast? It's a sensory, closed-door experience. Here, couture isn't just something you watch. You actually listen to it breathe. For Julie de Libran, this space is the very genesis of her creative process. Her ambitious approach uses well-being as a filter, a way to rethink the garment as a tool. The inspiration doesn't come from a dusty archive. It comes from anatomical movement itself. Couture is no longer a rigid armor. It becomes a fluid extension of the body and its breath. On this improvised runway, the energy is vibrant. The models move with a cadence synced to the breathing. They project a posture that is both proud and completely relaxed. My take on this? She successfully pulls off a major feat. She avoids letting the silhouette slip into basic sportswear. The visual presence remains incredibly strong. And the key detail that signs this whole attitude is the heavy presence of trousers. They are designed here as a centerpiece, built to free the stride. With pure confidence, everything seems to rely on an invisible architecture. Pieces cling close to the body. They play with subtle transparencies, catching glimpses of skin. It gives the impression that every garment is built around ergonomics, without ever sacrificing the house's sharp tailoring signature. The color palette remains textured, magnetic, but it's the clash of materials that creates an incredible sensory dimension. We are witnessing a genuine dialogue. Raw raffia on a black dress meets waves of massive sequins. Meanwhile, hand-painted metallic threads shiver with every single step. My analysis? Julie de Libran refuses anything matte. The silks and the metallic cloak capture the light in a deeply expressive way. They redistribute that glow with every movement. When you look a little closer at the pieces, you discover fascinating technical hybridations. A denim Saharian jacket is paired with a poplin shirt dress that opens entirely. Elsewhere, a houndstooth suit is literally split in two, separated by a beaded mesh insert at the waist. The progression of the show is built like a textural crescendo. The narrative reaches its absolute peak with the long, loose shirt. It is entirely crafted from hand-cut silk leaves, a final silhouette carried purely by the poetry of its material. It gives the illusion of floating, completely independent of the body underneath. But what if we step away from the runway fantasy for a second? Let's be honest. This boxy jacket with its integrated fluffy white knit vest, or that golden cloak peacoat cut short at the bottom, they might lose their edge in reality. To the untrained eye, this bold hybridation can look a bit disconnected, a chaotic clash of styles, the minute you leave the comfort of the studio for the Parisian pavement. What we take away from this vision is that Julie de Libran applies traditional savoir-faire with flexibility, rather than reverence. She inserts technique back into contemporary culture. It proves that ultra-luxury can appropriate the most singular worlds without losing its soul. So, do you validate this hybridation between haute couture and the spirit of Pilates? Or does this mix of houndstooth and beaded mesh go a bit too far? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to read your perspective. Thank you so much for sharing this analysis with me. To sharpen your eye, remember this: Julie de Libran trained under Marc Jacobs at Louis Vuitton. She also directed creation at Sonia Rykiel. Those are two fashion schools where a woman's freedom guides every single cut. That heritage of fluidity is exactly what we are finding today in this Latin Quarter studio. I wish you an excellent viewing for the rest of the show. Enjoy every silhouette, and I will see you very soon for a new analysis.